So lastly, religion is meant to heal, guide, and uplift. And so for me, when I saw this, um, like it really broke me. But I'm not saying hata mimi mwenyewe I'm perfect in my ways, but what I'm trying to say is that part of my drifting was what I was seeing in the background. Like when money iko involved, you will see people's true colors. You will see people that you thought you were in the same boat, you had the same mindset, you will see them change. You know, people can even erode morally juu ya pesa, and that's why it's a root of all evil. But I'm saying all this with grace. You part of my drifting, I was awakened, and I started seeing vitu for what they were. So the institution that yenye nilikuwa kwa nao, the church that I was going, kulikuwa na vituko, but there was something else that I saw. Sexual sin, na si sin, acha niende tutumie jina sin, but wasi wengi wenye wako kwa church, wengi wao wana struggle na sexual stuff. Wengi wao, kuna one of the things that we were learning, inaitwa Conquer series. It's a series based on setting men free kutoka kwa pornography. And one of the things that I really liked about this pastor, alikuwa so honest about his struggle. But if you're in a place where you think, unafikiria that your pastor is not hit by this, I think you may need to rethink twice. And the main reason why wasee wengi wako in closets, it's because wanajaribu ku hide their true identity. But mi naweza kuambia without a shadow of a doubt, most churches, watu wengi wenye wana watch hizo videos wako huko. And then I started asking my question, so why is it that most people wenye wako huko ndio wana watch hizo vitu, but then if they hear somebody mwenye endi kanisa ana watch hizo vitu, it's a sin? Sasa hapo ndipo nilianza kuwa na shida juu it's almost double standard. And one of the things about that group, with time they got found out. Juu hawezi feature, that's the thing with performance, hawezi feature. Utafeature to a certain extent, but one day you will be found out. And that's why, I mean, most of you have seen like religious leaders wenye wako so super high wamepatikana na allegations, sexual allegations, any sorts of allegation. But the key thing hapa, it's they're normal people, but kuna a mask na kuna they're trying to fit in a role, and the role yenye wanajaribu ku fit in, it's this person that kila mtu comes for advice. You know, you give great messages and you're not tempted. That's the role yenye umewekwa. But I was blessed kuwa na around people wenye they suffered. And I will tell you that video, kuna the series that we watched, juu tulikuwa tunafanya series from January to December, and one of the things that this series ilisema, and that really caught my attention, when this pastors conference na wameenda kwa hoteli, if you go to the watu wa hoteli walikuwa nasema, if you go to their Wi-Fi na uangalie what they searched, most of the things, like the highest things that were searched ni XX video. You think about that. And so I guess in conclusion, for me all this was not a loss, and I think it helped me to really understand and be around wase wenye wako broken. Juu hata mimi mwenyewe I'm broken, and that is why I'm very vocal about my challenges. Juu for a long time I lived that life of like, man, it's the kingdom business, but how is it kingdom when you are struggling with something that inakuaibisha, but you don't want to receive grace? You're trying to protect your image. I am telling you, you will be found out, and you'll be found out in a very embarrassing way. Most of the guys nilikuwa kona wao hapo, most of them they got found out, and it costed them. Some of them it will cost their marriage, some of them it will cost their reputation. But I guess the moral of the story ni like, we are all equal. Like, we are all equal. It doesn't mean that wewe ni, you're a leader, wewe ni pastor, you're a prophet, or you name it. Like, you don't struggle with things of the flesh. You do, kila mtu struggle with that, but some wanajua how to deal with that more than others. But for me, this truth awakened me, and I realized like I was living a life yenye ilikuwa kwa so much performance based that I did not want to be part of, and I wanted to be free. So this is my conclusion on this thing.